The Zaltharian Empire had catalogued over 14,000 sentient species across the galaxy. They prided themselves on their comprehensive xenobiological databases, their perfect records, their infallible assessments. When their scout ships first detected Earth, the initial reports were dismissive at best, primitive, fragile, unsuitable for integration, the lead xenobiologist had written. The file on humanity was marked with a red designation: weak, species, low priority. Commander Maya stood in the observation deck of the research station orbiting Earth, her dark eyes scanning the blue planet below. She was one of only 50 humans selected for the Galactic Council's exchange program, a token gesture from species who saw Earth as little more than a curiosity. "They still don't take us seriously," she muttered, reviewing the latest council reports on her datapad. Beside her, Dr. Farid adjusted his lab coat, a wry smile crossing his face. The xenobiology researcher had spent the last 3 months trying to convince the Zaltharian Science Division to properly study human physiology. They had laughed at him. Literally, laughed. "They will," Farid said quietly. "They're about to." The incident that changed everything happened on Kepler Station 7, a neutral trading hub near the Andromeda border. A structural failure in the gravity generator left 3 Zaltharian engineers trapped in a collapsed corridor. Tons of twisted metal pinning them down. Emergency services estimated 6 hours for a rescue team to cut through safely. Maya was there on diplomatic rotation. She heard the distress call and didn't think she simply moved. Security footage would later show her sprinting toward the collapse site, while others evacuated. The Zaltharian guards tried to stop her. "Human, you'll be crushed. Your species cannot withstand such." She was already climbing into the wreckage. What the aliens didn't understand, what their scans and medical databases had completely missed, was what human biology could do under extreme stress. As Maya squeezed through gaps too small for the bulkier Zaltharians, as she lifted debris that should have been impossible for her frame, her adrenal glands flooded her system with cortisol and adrenaline. Her heart rate spiked to 180 beats per minute. Her muscles accessed reserves of strength typically locked away by the brain's safety limiters. She found the first engineer. His breathing shallow, blue blood pooling beneath him. She ripped away the metal beam, crushing his thorax with a scream of effort that made the rescue workers outside go silent. "Impossible," whispered the Zaltharian medical chief, watching the bio readouts from Maya's emergency beacon. "Her muscle fibers are tearing. Her heart should fail. The lactic acid buildup should cause complete system shutdown." But Maya didn't stop. She pulled all 3 engineers to safety, her hands bleeding, her body trembling with exhaustion. When she finally collapsed, the medical scanners went wild with readings they couldn't interpret. Dr. Ferret was called to the station immediately. He arrived to find Maya in the medical bay, already sitting up, already insisting she was fine. The Zaltharian doctors stared at her like she was a ghost. "Explain this," demanded Chief Physician Zalthor, his crystalline eyes wide with confusion. "Her body should be destroyed. The muscular damage alone should require months of regeneration. She lifted objects 60 times her body weight. It violates every principle of xenobiology we've established." Ferret smiled that same knowing smile. "Perhaps you should study human biology more carefully." "May I?" Over the next week, Ferret conducted demonstrations that shattered the Galactic Council's understanding of what humans were capable of. He showed them persistence, hunting how humans could track prey for days without stopping, outlasting animals built for speed. He explained hysterical strength, the phenomenon where human mothers lifted vehicles to save trapped children. He detailed the human immune system, which treated viruses and bacteria like an all-out war, adapting and remembering every threat. "You see us as weak because we lack armored skin, because we don't have claws or venom or telepathic abilities," Ferret explained to a room full of stunned xenobiologists. "But you've missed what makes humans truly dangerous." He pulled up a holographic image of human cellular structure. "We're built for endurance, for adaptation, for survival at any cost. When a human is pushed to the edge, Our bodies break their own limiters. We become stronger when we exercise, while most species simply maintain. Our brains can override pain signals. We can force our bodies to continue functioning long past the point where we should die. Maya, fully recovered after only 3 days. Another impossibility stepped forward. We evolved on a death world. Gravity that would crush most species. Weather that swings from lethal heat to deadly cold. Predators that hunted us relentlessly. We didn't develop armor or weapons naturally, we developed stubbornness. She looked at the assembled council members. You declared us too weak to matter. You didn't realize that being weak forced us to become strong. The Zaltharian Empire's file on humanity was updated that day. The red designation was replaced with gold. Resilient species. High priority. Recommended as emergency response personnel. Commander Zalthor approached Maya and Ferret after the presentation, his expression humbled. We have been foolish. We judged you by your resting state, not understanding that humans, you're like a coiled spring, aren't you? Holding back incredible force until the moment it's needed. Maya nodded. We're not the strongest species in the galaxy. We're not the fastest or the smartest, but we're the ones who keep going when everyone else stops. We're the ones who pull others from the wreckage while our bodies are breaking down. That's what makes us human. As word spread through the Galactic Council, humanity's role in the greater galaxy shifted. They weren't the weak newcomers anymore. They were the species you called when the situation was impossible. The species that redefined what biology could do when pushed to its limits. And in the halls of the Zaltharian Empire's greatest research institutions, a new field of study emerged. Human limit theory. Because if there was one thing the galaxy learned about humans, it was this. Their limits were merely suggestions, not boundaries. Ferret returned to his research with newfound respect from his colleagues. Maya continued her diplomatic work, now with a dozen species requesting human consultants for their emergency response teams. And Earth, the little death world in the unfashionable arm of the galaxy, became known as the planet that bred the unbreakable ones. The weak species that was anything but weak.